So, hi everybody, and welcome to the Harrogate College webinar. For those of you that have just joined, you should see a poll on your screen. We'd just like to know whether you're planning on applying to Harrogate College, just so that we can learn a little bit more about you. As I previously mentioned, it might be useful to make sure that you've got something to write with or your phone to hand just to take down any important information throughout the presentation. So my name is Tia, and today I'm joined by my colleague Stephen, who'll be answering any questions that you have throughout the presentation. Stephen, do you want to say hello?
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name's Stephen and I work in the School Liaison team with Tia. So as Tia said, I'm going to be answering a few of the questions that you guys send in today. So please do send those through to us in the chat on the right hand side of your screen. Only myself and Tia can see those questions that are sent through because the chat's set to private. So there's no silly question, and I'll be having a look at those through whilst Tia's presenting, and I'll be answering them in a few breaks throughout the presentation. Over to you, Tia.
Great, thanks, Stephen. So as Stephen said, we both work in the School Liaison team at Harrogate College. So that just means that our job is basically to work with schools to help you guys make an informed decision when you're choosing what your post-16 options are. You might have even seen some of us at your school doing an assembly or a careers fair, or you might have even met one of the team at a previous open event. We would have loved to have met every single one of you in person at an open event. However, due to the current circumstances, this can't happen, but we do hope that this webinar today gives you a flavour of the college and what we have on offer. Following the webinar today, you will also be sent a copy of this via email, so if you do want to look back at any information, then you can do. Before we get started, on behalf of Harrogate College, we just wanted to say a special thank you to all the key workers and NHS staff and to everyone staying at home practicing social distancing. We're really looking forward to meeting you all in person soon as the college reopens. Before we move on to the next slide, we just want to learn a little bit more about you and learn a little bit about what you're hoping to find out today. So you should see another poll on the screen now. If you could answer that, that would be amazing. That's great. We've got a good mixture of answers again, so that's fantastic. So once you've answered the poll, it should disappear. If not, you can click on the chat box, which should remove the poll from your screen and take you back to the chat, which is where you can ask any questions. That's great. So you should see a box on the right-hand side of your screen. So this is where you can ask any questions or make comments throughout the presentation. As Stephen said, he'll be keeping track of them as we're going through and try and answer your questions during the question breaks. We will try and answer as many of these questions as we can, but if we don't get a chance to answer, please don't worry. There will be details throughout the presentation of how to find out these answers. Just so you are aware, as Stephen said, the chat is private, so only myself and my colleagues will see your messages. I would suggest making this webinar full screen just so that you can see it a little bit better. And if you're watching the webinar on your phone, then I'd suggest switching it to a landscape view. So if you just turn your phone sideways, this should just mean that you'll be able to see it at a much better view. So throughout the webinar today, we'll be covering a mixture of different things. We'll be looking at what you can study here at Harrogate College, general information about the college, the current application and interview process, what happens next, and how you can get in touch with us. As we've previously mentioned, you can ask questions throughout, and we will be taking some short question breaks, but we'll also have a Q&A at the end. So here on the screen, you can see a picture of Harrogate College and a map with our location. We're really easily accessible by public transport. So we're located in Hornbeam Park, and it's only a couple of minutes from Hornbeam Park train station. We also have the 36 bus that runs from Leeds through Harrogate right up to Ripon, which stops near the M&S on Leeds Road, and that's only around a 10-minute walk down to the college. We do also have a large car park which can be used by staff and students who hold a parking permit. These are issued at the beginning of each year. So at Harrogate College, there's lots of different options that you can choose from when you're deciding what you want to study. Our courses are split over what we call two different schools. So we have the School of Cultural Heritage and Contemporary, and we have the School of Business and Professional Studies. Here on the screen now, you can see the courses that are within our School of Cultural Heritage and Contemporary. These include mainly very hands-on courses such as hairdressing, art and design, motor vehicle, etc. But you can see the other courses on the screen now. On this slide, you can see the courses that are within our School of Business and Professional Studies. So these are generally more classroom-based courses that have practical elements within them. So these include courses such as IT and gaming, business, childcare, etc. But again, you can see them on the screen now. All of these courses that I've mentioned are what we call vocational courses. So this just means that they're predominantly practical. So when studying at Harrogate College, you choose just one of these subject areas in comparison to if you were studying A-levels elsewhere where you might choose 3 or 4 different subjects. If you are a little bit unsure about what you want to study, you can apply for more than one course. However, you would just need to choose one course when it comes to enrolment. This would just give you the opportunity to have more time to make your decisions. All of these courses that I've mentioned so far are what we call full-time courses. So when we say full-time, we usually mean being in college roughly 3.5 days a week. This then gives you plenty of opportunity for things such as independent studying, volunteering experience, or even going out and getting a part-time job. So at Harrogate College, when you're choosing your course, there's various different levels that you can choose from. So these will all depend on your current experience and your grades. So you can see here on the screen what our general entry requirements are and equivalents for each level. These do differ slightly across different curriculum areas, and all of the offers that we make are done on an individual basis, but these are the general entry requirements that we'd ask for. Some of these courses might require you to start at a level 1 or 2, regardless of your grades, just due to the technicality and complexity of the course. But again, this will all be discussed with you at the interview stage. So I also do just want to let you know that a lot of our level 3 courses are equivalent to studying 3 A-levels, which means that they can still help you get to university. So we're just going to take a short break where my colleague Stephen's going to try and answer a few of the questions that we've had coming through.
Hi everyone. So thanks for the questions that you've been sending through so far. Just remember that you can keep sending those throughout the presentation. So we've had a question from Sam, which is, can I get help with travel? So if you're talking about financial help with your travel, then you can apply for that at the beginning of the year. You can get help with bus passes, meal vouchers, equipment and childcare. So it's like a bursary, and you just need to apply for that at the beginning of the year. If you're actually asking about sort of how to plan your journey to college, then we'd recommend you can use the Metro website. So they've got journey planners on there. The 36 bus is what a lot of students will use to get to Harrogate College, and it's about a 10-minute walk from the Harrogate College campus where the bus drops you off. Holly's asked, how many courses can I pick or apply for? So you can actually apply for as many courses as you like. Only apply for courses, though, that you're actually interested in doing, as you'll be invited to do interviews for each course that you apply for. Before the academic year starts, you'll need to decide which course you want to study, as you can only study one. So you can apply for as many as you like, but remember that you can only study one when it actually comes to enrolling in September. And lastly, we've got a question from Laura, who's asked, can I park my car at college? So we do prefer you to walk, cycle or use public transport as part of our green strategy. If you can do that, that'd be fantastic. The train station is only a 2-minute walk away, and there are bus stops, as I said, that you can use. If you do need to travel to college by car, though, you can actually apply for a parking permit for our car park by talking to reception once you become a Harrogate College student. Back over to you, Tia.
That's amazing. Thanks, Stephen. So, unlike at school, Harrogate College offers courses from level 1 right up to level 7, which are equivalent to university courses. So you can see on the screen now the different higher education courses that we offer at Harrogate College. These are courses that you'd study after you've studied at college or at sixth form, so after you've studied at college level. When we refer to higher education, this usually means level 4+, whereas further education usually refers to college level study. So that's the main difference when we're talking about those. If you do want to find out any more information about these courses, please visit our website, which is on the bottom of the screen. We also offer full cost courses for adult learners who might want to upskill or take part in a hobby course. These are all part-time courses, so they may run on an evening. Here on the screen, you can see the courses that we currently offer as adult courses, such as welding, photography, accounting. These, again, are courses that you'd study after your college level study. So again, if you would like to find out any more information about these courses, visit the website that's on the screen now, and also just keep an eye out as we may add more courses in the future as well. One of the things that we pride ourselves on at Harrogate College is our industry standard facilities. So this means that our students are able to learn in an environment that's similar to the real working environments. So here on the bottom, you can see some pictures of our fantastic facilities. So the first image in the bottom left is our Image Academy. This operates as a commercial salon, which offers services and treatments to paying customers at reduced prices for staff, students, parents, and members of the public. So you can bring your family and friends along to that one. This is also a learning environment for the students with modern industry standard facilities, which creates a perfect realistic working environment. We also have some great art and design facilities, such as a ceramic studio, photography studios, and computer suites with Macs, so that students can use the most up-to-date software. So here you can see some more of our facilities. So on the second image on the bottom here, you can see our fantastic training kitchen. So this is a modern training kitchen with a demonstration bench, multiple bays, sinks, cooking equipment, ovens, hobs, etc. The production kitchen space is shared with the college canteen. So this just allows for more significant storage and modern equipment to help facilitate a large number of customers. We also have what we call our bistro on the park. So this is our fully equipped training bistro, open to public, staff and students. The bistro area has a fully functioning bar and can typically seat 30+ customers. They do also have the facility to expand. So sometimes the bistro have themed nights, and on themed nights, they can accommodate up to 100 covers. You can also see images on the bottom here of our technology centre, which consists of a range of different facilities, including a realistic working garage, significant electrical workshop space, and even a construction yard. At Harrogate College, we do also offer a mixture of apprenticeships. So apprenticeships are where you'd have a full-time job. So you'd be working full-time whilst getting paid, but you would also be working towards a qualification. With our apprenticeships, you'd usually be expected to be in college 1 day a week. This is to work on things such as your practical skills, your theory work with your tutors, and if you were resitting Maths and English, you'd also be expected to sit your Maths and English lessons then as well. There is also an assessor that works for the college that will come out to visit you on site just to check on your progress and see your portfolio work. So the minimum wage for an apprentice is £4.15 an hour, but employers can choose to pay more if they wish to do so. You can see here the different apprenticeship offerings that we have at Harrogate College. If you are interested in studying an apprenticeship, please email the email address that's on the bottom of the screen, including the subject area that you're interested in, and we'll try and find the best course for you. Even if you're thinking that you want to do an apprenticeship, but the subject area that you're interested in doesn't appear on the list, please still email us and we'll see what we can do. So the email address to email is contact@harrogate-college.ac.uk. So it's contact@harrogate-college.ac.uk. So we're just going to take another short break here where Stephen's going to try and answer a few more of your questions.
Thanks, Tia. So we've had a question in from Eleanor who's put, I'm unsure of what I want to do in further education. All I know is that I want an apprenticeship. I struggle to find one that interests me. So what apprenticeships are available? So yeah, as you can see, I'll just go back onto the previous slide. So I know you asked this before we talked about the apprenticeships, but you can see the following areas that we have for apprenticeships on this slide. If you're unsure about what you want to do, then you can have a look maybe on the national government website for what kind of apprenticeships are around in your area. Have a look on there. If there's something that you're interested in that we don't do necessarily on there, then you can still get in contact with our team on the email at the bottom there, and they might be able to tell you of other options that are out there. Once you in case you don't get the apprenticeship you've applied for, it's actually a really good idea to apply for a vocational course first. So I'm sure you will be able to get an apprenticeship, but it might take you a while because vacancies come up at different times. So it's good to apply for a vocational course first as a backup and then start applying for apprenticeships. And I'm sure you'll be successful at some point with those. So another question we've had is, how will I be assessed? And that's from Harry. So with a vocational course, assessments are done in varying ways depending on the course. Students are assessed by a combination of practical assessments and written work. There's more coursework than exams on vocational courses compared to doing A-levels at a sixth form, for example. We've also had a question in that someone's asked, is the college a professional place? So yes, it is. Some school students have the misconception that college is not a professional place, but this is not the case. The courses that we have here are trying to set you up for the world of work, so be expected to act responsibly whilst at college and attend all your classes on time. There is a bit of a different feel to college than school, though. You'll be treated a bit more like an adult and you won't have to call teachers miss or sir. So it's kind of a bit of a gap between school and then university. It's sort of bridging that gap for you. Okay, so back over to you, Tia.
Perfect. Thanks, Stephen. So there's lots of different ways that you can usually apply to study at Harrogate College. Usually you would be able to apply at our open events and our taster days. However, due to the current situation, the best way to apply is either on our website, which you can see on the screen now, or via email. Again, it's the same email you can see on the screen now. So following this, usually you'd then be contacted and invited in for an interview. So I'll go into this in a little bit more detail on the next slide. Usually you would also be invited to a Year 11 taster day. So this is where you can take part in curriculum sessions, and this just helps you make a little bit more of an informed decision if you're unsure what to do. This is also followed up by an applicant taster day. So this is where you'd have the opportunity to meet your tutor, meet your classmates, and just get to know the college a little bit better before starting in September. At the moment, this will be dependent on government advice, but we'll keep you updated with anything that's happening. So usually with our interview process, you'd be invited into college for an interview. Our interviews aren't anything scary. They're generally just an informal chat to find out if the course, the level and the college is suitable for you. Due to the current circumstances, our interviews are happening a little bit differently this year, but don't worry, our admissions team will be in touch with you to let you know what's happening. If you have applied or you're planning on making an application, you'll be sent a form to fill in as sort of a virtual interview. This will then be also followed up by a phone call. But as I said, don't worry too much about this now, as the admissions team will be in touch to let you know what's happening. So usually enrolment is what would happen from GCSE results day. So this would be where you bring your GCSE results and ID to Harrogate College, you'd meet with a tutor, and then you'd sign up to college. So this would be where you officially become a Harrogate College student. Due to the current circumstances, enrolment might be a little bit different this year, but don't worry, we will be in touch with more details once we have more information on what's happening. GCSE results day might also look a little bit different for you guys this year, but you should still receive your results on the 20th of August, which is the day that GCSE results day is. And this will be based on things such as your previous work, your coursework, and your mock exam grades. Once you've enrolled, you'll then start studying at Harrogate College in September. One of the things that we do to welcome all of our students is we hold an event called the Big Welcome. This is a day that all students are invited to, and it's basically a day that's filled with music, free food provided by the bistro, Domino's pizza, games, inflatables and more. It's an absolutely amazing day. Again, this will all be dependent on government guidelines to whether we'll be able to hold this again this year, but we will keep you updated with what's happening. So I'm just going to pass back over to Stephen to see if he can answer a few more of the questions that have been coming through.
Thanks, Tia. So we've had a really good question from Alice here, who's definitely keeping up with current affairs. So it's how you assess the right level this year with GCSEs being assessed differently? Would this be discussed at interview? You should, as Tia just said, you should be getting your grades on GCSE results day as planned on the 20th of August. This will be based off your predicted grades and some of the coursework or some of the work that you've done already this year. So it should work relatively similar to how it would usually work. If you're unhappy with the grades that you've been allocated via this new method, then maybe just have a discussion with the person over the phone in the interview and just let them know that that's the case. We've also had a question from Adam, who is sort of a bit unsure yet because he's applied for level 3 business. He's not heard back yet, but our admissions team are working hard to contact everyone. So they're just going through and you should hear something back soon. However, what you can do is you can email the address that will be on in a bit later. And I think Tia's already mentioned the email address, and then we'll be in touch soon with a response to keep you up to date. But the admissions team should be contacting you soon anyway. Like I said, yeah, just email if you're a bit unsure, if you want some clarification earlier than that. And then James has asked, can I go on to a level 3 motor vehicle course? So the best thing for you to do would be to apply for the motor vehicle course, and then they'll discuss what level is probably going to be the best level for you to go on to for that course at the interview. So yeah, they'll talk to you about your predicted grades and things like that, and then they'll give you a suggested level, and then when it comes to enrollment, then they'll put you on the correct level of course based off the grades that you've got. Okay, back over to you, Tia.
That's great. Thanks, Stephen. I do just want to reiterate a point that Stephen just made. If you're not sure what's happening with your application process and you feel like you haven't heard for a while, please do drop the email address and email or contact us on the web chat, which is on our website, and we'll try and find out what's happening with your application. So, when you study at Harrogate College, as well as your academic study, we also want to ensure that your mental health and wellbeing is a priority. So the college is dedicated to promoting mental health amongst our young people and adults, and all staff at Harrogate College have been trained in mental health and wellbeing first aid. So if you do need someone to speak to, there's plenty of staff that can help. We do also have a college counsellor, and all students are assigned what we call a pastoral attendance lead, or we call them a PAL for short. Your PAL can make referrals to other services, so if they feel that a student needs extra support, then they can do that. We do recognise the importance of mental health amongst both our staff and students, especially in times like this current situation, and we will ensure that we have the support in place for students in that transition of returning back to an academic environment after such a long time off. Students can also receive careers advice and progression advice from their tutors, but we do also have our own independent careers advisor. So our careers advisor can support you in working on your next steps, either through one-to-ones or group workshops, whichever you would find most beneficial. In addition to your main programme, you will also have 1 hour a week where you'll learn employability skills such as CV writing and general life skills. At Harrogate College, there's also lots of things that you can get involved in outside of your studies. So we have what we call a student voice system. You might have had one of these in your school. So this is basically, it allows the students to have their voices heard through a class rep system. It's just a great feedback system that we've put in place so that your voices are heard. Students also have the opportunity to be part of a wider students' union within the Luminate Education Group. So this is where you can get involved in activities, clubs and societies, as well as go on trips with your peers and across the whole Luminate Education Group. Our students do also go on many trips and visits throughout the year with their individual course, and these can be to a mixture of places from shows and expeditions to residential trips, and even get the opportunity to take part in some competitions, which is really cool. So just to give you a couple of examples of these, our performing arts students visit a range of different theatres to see a variety of productions and performances, and they even do a yearly residential to London. And our art and design students visit both local and national art galleries and even get to work alongside the likes of Fountains Abbey for live briefs that the students can work on, as well as residential visits to either Amsterdam or London. So that's just to give you a little bit of a feel of what student life is like at Harrogate College. Just to make you aware, you can claim for financial support whilst you're at college. So this is all based on your personal circumstances or your household income. You can get support with things such as travel, meals, childcare, equipment, and residentials and trips. Even in uncertain times like we are now, we're still supporting students in the best way that we can. So, for example, through giving them supermarket shopping vouchers with the amount of money that they'd receive in college for their college meals. If you do want to find out more information about this, please visit the website to find out more about financial support. So we just wanted to let you know about some of our fantastic success stories and past students. So a lot of our students do go to a mixture of different places following their studies at Harrogate College. This might be moving on to an apprenticeship, getting a full-time job, or going to university. Here we've got stories from both Chloe and Annie. So both of these students studied a cash level 3 diploma in childcare and education, both of whom successfully completed their course and got an overall A, which is amazing. Chloe went on to secure a place at Leeds Beckett University to study social work, and Annie received a scholarship to progress to university to study child psychology. So that was fantastic for both of those. We also have a couple more here. So we have Jasmine, who successfully completed the level 3 2-year extended diploma in performing arts. She then went on to work as a performer on the cruise ship P&O Ventura, and shortly after went on to managing and producing shows based in the Cyprus resort. So if you've been to Cyprus recently, you might have even seen Jasmine out there. And then we've got Poppy here, who secured employment and live-in accommodation at the new Hilton Spa Majestic Hotel, where she's able to receive ongoing training, which helps build on her current skills and her current knowledge that she learnt whilst at Harrogate College. We also just wanted to let you know that all of the students who applied for university from both our Level 3 Extended Diploma in Art and Design and our Foundation Art and Design course all got their first choice offers and progressed on to higher education. So that's absolutely fantastic for those students. So it is great to stay up to date with Harrogate College. You can find out about what upcoming events are happening and see what our students are getting up to as well. So we have a Facebook, Twitter and an Instagram if you'd like to follow us and stay up to date. We will also be posting on here about how the college is working under these current circumstances and just keeping you up to date with what's happening. So a lot of you might be at very different points in the application process. So I'm just going to run through what might happen next for you. So if you've not yet made an application, don't worry, our applications are still open and you can apply via our website, which is on the screen, or by emailing us. There will be contact details at the end of the presentation if you do want to drop them down. If you have applied but you don't have an interview scheduled, our admissions team will be in touch with you to schedule your interview. So this will be in the form of a form, as I said, sent out to you, but our admissions team will be in touch with you about that. So if you did have an interview scheduled, as these have now been postponed, our admissions team again will be in touch with you to reschedule this in the form of a form. So you can also keep an eye out on our social media and your emails to find out all of the latest information. But we do also work really closely with schools and careers advisors. So feel free to get in touch with your school and they'll be able to keep you updated on the latest information. So don't forget, our applications are still open. So if you haven't applied yet, you can visit our website on the link below to make an application now. So Stephen and I are now going to try and answer as many questions as we can. Please feel free to ask any more questions in the chat box now and we'll try and answer as many as we can. Don't worry if your question doesn't get answered. Just keep an eye out on our website following the webinar, and we'll have a frequently asked questions page where we'll put the answers to any of the questions that we haven't managed to answer today. Whilst we're answering the questions, I am going to put up the contact details. So if you want to get in touch with us after the webinar, the contact details are on the screen now. So if you want to jot them down whilst we're answering the questions, then feel free. But thank you all for listening, and I'm going to pass over to Stephen now to start answering some questions.
Thanks, Tia. As Tia said, this is a great opportunity to ask any last questions that you've not yet might not had the opportunity to ask. So Sam has asked the question, do I have to wear uniforms? That's a good question. In general, Harrogate College students don't have to wear uniform. However, some students will have to wear certain clothes for their courses. For example, if you're doing a cookery course, you'd need to wear chef whites. And if you're doing motor vehicle, then you'd need to be wearing overalls. So in the main, no, you don't have to wear a uniform, but you would have to wear certain types of clothes for certain courses. Another question we've had is from Harry. Can I get any more than the £4.15 an hour for an apprenticeship? So yes, you can. £4.15 is the government minimum wage. However, it's up to the company how much they want to pay their apprentices. So if they have put in quite difficult entry requirements and asking for a lot of experience and personal skills, and they may choose to offer a higher salary. We've actually seen some of our apprentices get paid £18,000 a year in the past, which is an awful lot of money for a 16-year-old to be earning. To be fair, even £4.15 an hour is really not bad. To be earning that full time as a 16-year-old, that's still quite a lot of money at that age. Okay, I'll pass it back over to you, Tia.
Perfect. Thanks, Stephen. So we've had a great question here. Can I apply for college on my phone? So the answer is yes. You can apply for college on whatever device you've got, as long as it's got a browser and internet connection. If you are struggling to apply for whatever reason, please do feel free to drop us an email or contact us on the web chat, and we can give you a hand with that application process.
Thanks, Tia. So we've had another question in from Stephen. What if I don't know what to study? So that is understandable, as there are so many options out there. The best way to go about it is to think about the kind of career you'd like to go into and then work backwards. So think about what you enjoy doing, what maybe is going to earn the amount of money that you want. Think about what jobs are out there in the local and the national economy. You can do research once you've done that by looking for courses that would set you up for that career. So you can have a look online, you can ask for advice from your school's careers advisors or teachers, as well as talk to your friends and family, because they know you best and they know the kind of things that you'd be interested in doing and might enjoy. So that's what we'd recommend if you're unsure about what you want to do.
Great, thanks, Stephen. So we've had a great question here from Emma. Can I bring someone with me to my interview? So obviously, as we've said, the interviews this time are happening a little bit differently. So there'll be a form that will be sent out to you. However, if you're in year 10 and you're thinking about next year, then yes, 100% you can bring someone to the interview with you if you want. They aren't anything scary, as I said, they're just more of a chat to make sure that everything's right. But if it would make you feel better to bring someone with you, or you just want someone to take part with you, be there to support you on the day, then of course you can bring someone with you.
Thanks, Tia. So someone else has asked, if I don't get the grades that I'd hoped for, should I still come to enrolment? So yes, you should absolutely still come for enrolment. It's also always worth coming, because it could be that you could study a lower level course or a similar course. It's always worth coming and seeing what options there are, because our staff will give you different options, such as courses already at Harrogate College, different levels of courses, or maybe options elsewhere outside of the college as well. We won't just leave you in the lurch. We'll definitely make sure that there's going to be some options that are good for you.
Great, thanks, Stephen. So we'll do one more question here. So we've had a great question about, will I have the chance to experience some taster sessions? So this is all to be confirmed. So we did have some booked in, but due to the lockdown, these did have to be cancelled. We would love to be able to do them this year, but we do need to comply with government guidelines. If you have applied, keep an eye out on your emails and your phone, and we'll keep you up to date with anything that's happening and anything that's going on at Harrogate College. As I said, if you do have any more questions, then feel free to ask those. So that's it for the questions today. If we haven't managed to answer your question, please do keep an eye out on the website and we'll put all the answers on there. If you do think of anything else that you want to ask after, please just email the email address that's on the screen now or contact us on our web chat on our website. Thank you all for listening and have a lovely day.
Thanks, everyone.